Ladies and gentlemen, happy Saturday night to you ourselves. Keith here from Command the Hoop Celtic. I'm here with a special guest. He's making a debut on my page. Judy Talks from Bonnie, Scotland. What's the crack, man? How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Of course, a mixture of emotions this weekend. It's first Old Firm or Glasgow Derby, whatever you want to call it, and so long with fans there. Of course, none of us are there, but and then it's you're nervous, you're excited, you're buzzing. So yeah, all round good, but nervous, excited, mixture of emotions, mate.
Well, tell me subscribers and me followers about what you done yesterday. The video you done yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday we went to Ibrox in the morning. We interviewed some Rangers fans about the derby on Sunday, and then we done the same at Celtic Park, and we asked both sets of fans to describe their rivals in one word. So we had Celtic fans saying Rangers are dead or pathetic. We had Rangers fans saying they hate us or scum or whatever. So good video, but I like that kind of content. It's good to get stuff on both sides. I would have vlogged the game, of course, like I do with the games usually, but there's no fans here on Sunday, which is disappointing. Probably a topic we'll speak about the allocation and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was good to get a bit from both sides. Although walking around Ibrox is quite weary and quite different for me. But yeah,
I was gonna say to you. You've done a couple of videos so far this season. What has been your favourite video that you've done so far? Was it the demolition?
I think the St Mirren one was good. The 6-0. I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed it because I get quite lucky because I just have an urge to hit record on the camera, because obviously I don't record for the full 90 minutes, but like I got all 6 goals, I think. So like that was really good, like for a viewer experience. But the fact that I went to Alkmaar with my brother, like our last game together was actually Malmo, back when Diala was manager. That's the last game.
Oh jeez, that's a long time ago.
So it was good to get back with him and share that experience, because that's what Celtic's all about, our family club, and you get brought up and you're born into Celtic, or you're born into Rangers, or you're born into whatever club you're supporting. So
Partick Thistle.
It was Partick Thistle.
You see the comment I left on your YouTube today.
So it was good to get back with him, and we met the AZ Alkmaar's centre half's dad as well, which was cool. So it was good that we got both sets of fans in that. So I'd say that's the favourite one so far. But all the games just so far this season, I think we've scored 13 goals in 3 games or something like that, something ridiculous like that in the Premiership. So we're a joy to watch just now.
Oh, unbelievable. Who would have thought that we're flying in August the way we are? Look, folks, this is going to probably go on for about 45 minutes. I'm going to do questions and answers at the end. Obviously, we're going to talk about the game, talk about so far how we're playing, talk about Ange. The birthday boy was yesterday, the birthday boy Ange. If he's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, I appreciate you all coming and watching so far. So 12 o'clock kickoff tomorrow at Ibrox. I'm not having a beer tonight. You having a beer yourself?
I have indeed. I have. I've got a cheeky little Tennent's. Not the best of beers, however, it does the job. It'll settle the nerves.
I was only thinking about it today. I was like, this is the first time I'm being very optimistic going in playing this since the Brendan Rodgers days, because of the style of football we've been playing.
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously Rangers have got players missing as well, which is a kind of advantage for us. But you have to kind of respect that they're at their home stadium. They're going to have all their fans behind them. It's like I said, it's probably a topic we'll speak about allocation and fans, but it's one of the ones you can never predict a Glasgow Derby or an Old Firm, whatever you want to call it. But if anything, I would agree, this has been the most confident I've been in a long time.
But you know, a lot of fans are saying 3-1 Celtic.
Yeah.
Oh, week 3-1 Celtic. Like, we know that we still have defensive problems there with Starfelt, and Welch is still not pace-wise, is not there. But he's established himself. Like, compared to what Welch was last season coming into the first team, I think he's matured a lot. He obviously dragged Starfelt through many games so far. Hopefully Taylor's back. He's in contention. Ralston be there. You'll have Juranovic as well, and maybe Scales on the bench. So far, what do you think of Joe Hart's performances in the Celtic shorts?
I think in my eyes, Joe Hart is was a world-class keeper 5-6 years ago. Obviously, things didn't work out with Pep, and then he went to Torino and had a bit of a tough career the last few years, if I'm honest. But he's got that ability there. He's got that talent. He's a Premier League winner. He's a leader. He'll give experience to the young boys like Ralston, Taylor, like Welsh. Like he'll give them that experience. He gives them that extra safety net, if anything, which is great. So I know he made a mistake the other day, and I know if Barkas made that, he would have got crucified. But
would have been sold, but I think at this rate,
it's one of the ones. I think Joe Hart is probably maybe going a bit far saying this, but it's probably some of the best business Celtic have done in the last decade, and I think he'll come to prove himself. He'll prove himself in that. I think he's a great signing for Celtic.
I look at he took a pay cut to come to Celtic. Well, 15 grand a week he's on at the moment. 3-year deal. I'm looking forward to him. I think he's going to be a good keeper for us. This is a massive game tomorrow. It's a massive game for every player. You know, this is one of the best occasions of world football. It's sad that we don't have our fans in, but that's the way it's been. You know, like some people are saying, do we give them allocation in January? Definitely not. 100% not.
Yeah. Do you know, it's a tough one because when you grow up in whatever side of the Glasgow Derby or the Old Firm you're on, when you experience your first Old Firm or whatever, you remember it for the atmosphere. You remember it for.
I do. I remember mine.
Their sets of fans being there, and I'll not speak about mine. It was a 4-2 game with Daniel Cusa, and that was my first Old Firm. It was a shocker.
Oh Jesus!
It was terrible. But you remember that, and I think the best thing, especially with Scottish football now, you've got the Edinburgh Derby back, you've got the Dundee Derby back. Do you know what I mean? So. You need to make the Old Firm special. You need to have both sets of fans there. The bigger allocation, go back to whatever it was, 7,500.
8,000 at Celtic Park.
Get that back, and I would love that back because I don't think anybody beats Celtic's atmosphere on that day.
But do you think that Dominic McCoy will actually step in now and try get it back?
I'd like to think so. I mean, we talk about this club and how big a club Celtic are, how big a club Rangers are as well. You need to talk about that because worldwide they're both hugely supported clubs. So having that atmosphere and having that getting nervous when you see them walking around and getting excited, that's what the Old Firm's about. It's about hate, but at the same time it's about fight. Do you know what I mean? It's just a mixture of things. I just think it's ruined the fixture a little bit with no allocation. I think it's both clubs spitting the dummy out, really though. It's a bit on both ends, but
a lot of people are saying it's because of Gerrard's mind games. He wanted to get rid of that stand. He wanted to give them advantage. Look, at the last time he won against them was in Hampden, and that was a game where we shouldn't have won because we were absolutely shy. We took our chances, and Julian came up with the goods.
Yeah,
like Fraser Foster, I've never seen a better goalkeeper performance in my life. The saves he pulled off. I was only actually looking at the game today. With the penalty, Morelos penalty, I knew when he was stepping up, I was like, he's gonna miss it. He's gonna miss it.
That's one of the most nerve-wracking moments, I think, because he hadn't scored at that point. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, oh no way, scores now, and then just puts us out on misery. So I'm kind of glad that never happened that day. But I don't know. Sunday's a weird one. It's a new manager, no fans. It's just been such a weird year for football in general. It's crazy to think that the Old Firm's coming back or the Glasgow Derby fixture's going to actually happen.
You were talking about your foursome. My foursome, we actually lost 1-0. Hugo Gegigog scored a Boise kick against us at Celtic Park. I'll always remember it. Lashing rain. I was only 16. And then the following season, I went to the 3-2 game. Scott McDonald scored 2. And then Barry Robson right down the middle with the penalty. Oh, what a day. What a day. Went on to obviously do 3 in a row. And then we clinched the title at Tannadice we did on a Thursday night. But that was a phenomenal season because they were going for the UEFA Cup and they got beaten by Zenit in the final. But that's when they were alive. You know, that was the All Rangers at the time. Yeah. But it's good to have this fixture back because look, we've dominated for the last 9 years. To keep saying, where's your 10 in a row? Huh? Well, we actually won 12 in a row. Quadruple trebles.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like as much as I'm hugely Celtic's my club, always will be. I think what we need to do is not give them not underestimate them, because
definitely not. I just think
that's certainly what happened last season, and we were punished. I mean, and when I say punished, we were punished hard. And there's a lot of Celtic fans who will not forgive a lot of what's happened at the club last year and not making that 10. I think that was their season to lose, and it's very much so this weekend about getting that kind of first knock at the door, or putting the first nail in the coffin for them defending their title. So it's really important for us to do that, I think.
But I think when it was announced the other day with the COVID cases and the close contacts, I think a lot of Celtic fans jumped on the victory parades without even the ball being kicked. We even play against AZ Alkmaar. I was like, look, calm down for a second here. We have to play Alkmaar on Thursday night. Let's get this over and done with. 2 big games. Like, tomorrow's going to be a hostile atmosphere. It's going to be weird. I was saying to someone the other day, I was like, you better not put on mute at this rate, because you don't want to hear them sing what they want to sing. Because we don't have any fans there, you know. But I think with the whole Ange appointment, he gives you that confidence. Every press conference he does, he just gives you that assurance that they're focusing so much, you know, they're taking every game as they come. They're not looking too far into the future. They're trying to get the players in. He's done a good bit of business. People are talking about it, and Guayogo here in the comments, which is the talk of the street.
Well, Abada's what he's got. I think he's 3 appearances, 2 goals and an assist, I think. So he's playing well. I mean, Kyogo's obviously, he speaks for himself. He's been brilliant. The business he's brought in is good, and I think he's going to get the best out of players like Taylor and like Ralston, and hopefully show them on to become better players than they are. They might not be Celtic worthy by the end of this season. We never know. They might turn into the next like player who's there for 5, 6, 7 years. You just don't know. But he's got Greg Taylor playing better football in the first 3-4 weeks than Neil Lennon ever did. Or do you know what I mean?
That's it. Taylor's starting to take players on. Yeah. I just felt last season with Taylor, he gets past the halfway line and he kind of thinks to himself, where's he going then? Is he going to take the chance of crossing in and stuff? But he's starting to improve. I thought he was a workhorse, you know. I know he ended up getting taken off tour time down, but Montgomery was outstanding the other night. He had a really good game, and I know a lot of people are calling for him to start tomorrow if Taylor's not available. I don't feel it's the right time for him to start. I think it's too big of an occasion, and some people might contradict me on the stream tonight and say, well, he played against AZ Alkmaar in a playoff for the Europa League. Surely he's capable to step in. What do you think of Montgomery?
It's a weird one. It's like you could throw anyone in at the deep end in an Old Firm and they could flourish, or you could throw them in and they could shit the bed. So that's the gaffer's decision. Like, Ange obviously works with him day in, day out, trains. He knows the kind of player he is. It's like, do they understand what the fixture's about? If they do, then do they understand what comes with it? Do they understand what responsibility they have? Because in an Old Firm, or Glasgow Derby, whatever you want to call it, I'm just so used to calling it the Old Firm. So if anybody takes offence, I do apologise. But it's one of the ones. It's like there's no room to make an error. If one person makes an error, it gets capitalised on. So it's a weird one. It's for us as fans to say we can criticise and talk about opinions after the game, before the game, what we would do. But ultimately, it's up to Ange and his staff and to see who they play. So
that's it. I was doing a live last night on TikTok, and I said, look, it doesn't matter what my opinion is on the game. What matters is we go out there, we can test them lads, fight for the short, and get results. Get a result. I'm going to ask you straight. Would you take a draw tomorrow?
No.
You want to take a draw?
No. Draws.
Is it because
I think with all things considered, we've scored 13 goals in 3 games in the league. We've overturned arguably one of the hardest teams we could have got in the qualifying draw, like Alkmaar. Great side, not David Rez, but really, really good side. Play some great football. Rangers have got players missing. I think they've got their captain missing and Tavernier. Now, you look at Celtic in the past, if Scott Brown's not been on his game, it changes the game completely.
We're going to talk about the captain thing as well now in a second. I mean? So going to join Mick's going to join in now.
Yeah,
Mick, welcome in. You all set for tomorrow?
Oh well, battle fever on, I suppose. It's really nice to meet you, buddy. How you getting on?
How you doing, mate? Not too bad. That's
Juddy. He's good YouTuber. I sent him the link. He's straight in there with the fans. He's no problem going across enemy lines to interview people. Not bother.
Looking forward to checking it out later on. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, love that, mate.
Right. I'll talk about the captaincy. Callum McGregor. What do you think, Mick? Is this the game that will get the boys up? You've seen huddles and you've seen the way he's been electric so far this season.
Well, we had this chat on Monday night about C-Mac or Carl-Mac, and he's just been incredible so far. Like, you can just see, you had a feeling like, oh, this could be one or two things. This is the game where he really shines to the captaincy, or the occasion could get too much from. So it's one or the other here. Like, it's not one of those things you can call straight away. Like, it's the first new firm that he's going to be a captain. So it's just hopefully. Well, he knows what the occasion's all about. Like, he's been there before. He's done it all. He's scored big goals in these games.
He scored own goals and he got sent off. So he has all that type of emotions being there as a player for Celtic. We're in the short list.
Something you kind of have to realise tomorrow, like the fact that it's the first game first derby game that the fans are back in. Obviously, we've no support there, but that could be a major factor there tomorrow as well. We don't know how they're going to react to them. We don't know how hostile. We know it's going to be hostile, but we don't know how hostile it's going to be. So we're walking into seriously dangerous territory tomorrow, and hopefully we can just cope with it.
Look, we're the underdogs. Look at Juddy. We're the underdogs. At the end of the day, they're not playing great football. You know, they've had a 13,000 trip to Armenia and back, and they got beaten by Dundee United. They scraped into the Europa League. Malmo gave them an ass whooping. Look, it's.
I don't think that's a fair comment there.
Malmo, pressure's on them.
They played very well against Malmo. I just think they got caught in the hop there, to be honest. I wouldn't say that was an ass whooping.
I think, you know what, the second half, when he came out, they got the 2 goals conceded straight away. But what would you say is the weak points of the Rangers team, Juddy?
Well, COVID. COVID this week, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's one of the ones. I think Rangers lack that kind of urgency in the final third. Like, they've struggled to kind of create chances. It seems to be Morelos has created a few out of his own. Whatever, I think they're not as fluent as they have been certainly last season from what I've seen. I must admit, I don't really watch a lot of Rangers, or I watch Celtic games, and obviously we do the vlogs and stuff, and then when I'm not, I go to other games. So I must admit, I'm not one who watches Rangers a lot, but however, when I have got the chance to see them, and you might disagree with me, it's like getting that ball over the final third. It's like Celtic had that problem as well. Like under Lennon, we tried to walk the ball into the net and do too much, and we were trying to maybe make too many passes inside the box, or too many. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the same with kind of Rangers, that they struggle to find that guy who's always in behind or on the shoulder, or playing balls in and holding up, and it's all a bit kind of mixed up just now. But whether that's just fresh or new for Rangers, and whether they can kind of improve on that's up to them. Like I say, I don't watch a lot of them, I must admit. But
I think what I've seen of them so far this season, I think Goldson looks like the weak points of the team. Now, look, Goldson had an incredible season for them last year. Obviously, he scored them 2 goals at Celtic Park, which I really didn't want to bring up, but it has to be thrown out. You see in the European games, he just doesn't look like he's up for it. I don't know what the situation with his contract. I don't know he's signed a new contract. I don't know what the stories with Kamara as well. Mick, anyone that sticks out to you? Weak points of their team?
First, well, I agree with a lot what Juddy's after saying there. To be honest, especially in the final third, they haven't really been living up to what they were last season. Like, maybe it's the pressure that was on them, like, to keep that momentum going as well.
Or maybe how bad Celtic actually were.
True.
That's it. Like, so, but Sutton made a great point after the game the other night about Rangers. He said, like, we had an awful season last year, and we basically imploded last year. Is this going to happen to Rangers this year? Now, it's obviously very early to say that they're going to implode or whatever, like, after the first couple of games, because they've had a very heavy schedule as well, same as ourselves. But yeah, no, with Goldson, like, look, they're leaky. They're leaking defence, and they're not scoring as many goals as they were last season either. So I just don't think they've kind of come back in pre-season yet. Like, there's just not something, like, we come back earlier, we kind of got our few defeats and all that, whatever, and we got to gel a little bit. But Rangers would come back, they didn't really kind of have a lot of preseason stuff going on. Obviously, they had the Real Madrid game, which they got 3 points for. It's going to be
that. They won the World Cup when they beat Real Madrid.
It's 3 points going to be crucial at the end of the season for them. But I think once they got that victory, it kind of felt all of a sudden like that they were invincible, like that they can't be touched, and they kind of took the foot off the pedal. It's nearly a case that they just have to show up. So tomorrow's a big test for them. I think if they lose tomorrow, it's going to be I think they need to win this more than we need to win it. To be honest,
that's what I was thinking today. To be honest with you. I was thinking if they were to beat us tomorrow, which I didn't really want to throw this into the stream, but if they were to beat us tomorrow, that kicks their season on. That kicks it off for them. But if they lose it tomorrow, Jesus Christ, the pressure on them.
Yeah.
No, I know it's only early days. Look, this is the start of a rivalry between Ange and Steven Gerrard as well. And this is our first time coming against the likes of Kyogo and the Bada. Pace.
It's just so Kyogo's so nice to watch, and obviously I go to games as much as I can. I know you don't get over as much as you'd like.
I'll be over for the Bernavars game. Hopefully,
when you see Kyogo walk off the ball, like when I was brought up going to football, my dad always used to say to me, watch the work they do off the ball, because that's what you don't see in the telly, and like learn what the kind of player they are. Kyogo's always on the shoulder. He's always coming off onside and back on, and he's always looking for the runs. He's just such a joy to watch. And Abada's the same. He's always looking for that run in space. And I think that's why Ralston's has such good performances recently, is because like them, and when they're moving in, they're finding the passes, and Taylor as well. Like he makes it easy for the fullbacks to find them, because he's looking for that space, and they're just such a joy to watch.
Do you know what the style of football is like? It's like when the year that Liverpool lost out in the league when they won the Champions League, the pressing from Mane, Salah and Firmino off the ball, pressing. When you look at Kyogo against Dundee, when he straight into the slide tackles, clearing it out, winning throw-ins, pressing in their half, giving them none of time to clear it out. That's what I've done it for me. The first 20 minutes, got stuck in, didn't take any prisoners.
Yeah, he's great to watch. Like, when you have someone like that, and I think it's maybe looks so much better to us as well, because Edouard has been great, and you cannot fault him for what he's done for the club, but you can kind of tell now that he's, how to put it, that he's not really asked as much anymore, and that's just my opinion on.
100%. There's a lot of people.
He's like, you can tell he wants his move, and I'd happily give him his move, but I think Kyogo's got. Like Celtic have missed, like for Griffiths done the running and he scored here and there. But Edouard scores and he's great on the ball. I think Kyogo's like a blend of the two. He's got bits of both, and he works really hard. And I just think he's. I hope I don't eat my words and this ends up a clip, but I hope he's going to be one of Celtic's greatest ever, because he's starting to look that way.
That's a hard statement there. But look, it could happen. Nakamura's up there.
Do you know what I mean? I'd love to see him become one of them, and like he's moved, like he's moving off the ball. Yeah, I'd love to see him become one of Celtic's greatest in the modern era and the new millennium. Do you know what I mean? Because like he's got it. He's got the talent. He's got the ability. He works hard. He seems a nice, polite guy like Nakamura was. It's just how the Japanese are. They're very humble, and they don't take too much in their stride. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'd love to see him become one of Celtic's greats.
Regards to Edouard, Mick, there's been reports that Ruben Kazana's put an 18 million bid in for him. What do you think? Is it time we take the gamble and don't play him tomorrow and sell him for the 18 million?
No, I wouldn't agree with that, Keith. Like as he made the point there on Monday, he seems to be a lot of a happier player there now at the moment, and maybe he's trying to be put himself in a situation that he's trying to get himself back on the transfer sheet. Like I know he said Ruben Kazan put in 18 million bids. I think that was over 3 payments. Marseille have put in a bid in as well. You know, French players, they like to stay at home. But I think Everton are after coming in as well. I think they're after making a bid as well. They're talking about it.
Richarlison, they might be getting Richarlison, and they're going in for Edouard.
I wouldn't take him off.
He's gone to PSG.
I wouldn't take him off the team sheet, Keith. And the reason why, obviously, look, we know what happened with Eddie last season when he was on the transfer speculation, that he was just constantly just getting his head wrecked with the transfers. But if these transfers go belly up and he's having a good time playing at the minute, you want to keep that momentum going. Maybe you get money from him in January. Okay, so you have to kind of keep him playing and then not keep him off the team sheet, because he made a massive difference on Thursday night as well.
Oh, 100%. He came on and actually ran his socks off for the change. I was actually quite shocked. But Chris Sutton made a good.
As well.
Chris Sutton made a good point on Thursday night. He's like, look, it may pay off if we actually keep him, because if we win the league, we're into the Champions League, and that's the money back. Well, we actually get the full 40 million the following season, but still making the money back on him. Like we go back to Edward's goals against him. That 3-2 game, my jeez, came off the bench, took it on the wing, and we were down 10 men at the time. So Milovic got sent off. Don't think it was a red card. We've had his covers. There was contact, but it was minimum contact.
But look who the linesman was that day.
He
didn't even tell Colin what happened. He just said red card and he just told him to send him off. So that was that in fairness, like some. But that game was unbelievable, like, especially because we were looking at getting bet that day, but that goal kind of kicked off Eddie's career. And then
them three goals, like you're looking from Tom Logic scoring that cracker, Juddy, and then Dembele. What's the keeper doing, Tam? And then Eddie coming off the bench. Like, that was one of the fast paced games I've ever watched in football. Between the both of them, it was end to end stuff. It was brilliant. And then obviously Bain was thrown into the mix as well. He pulled off a few cracking saves on the line.
I know Morelos just did a Morelos there that day, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what we'll say, lads? What's your all time favourite Glasgow Derby moment, or Old Firm moment, New Firm moment, whatever you want to call it?
You take the first one, Keith.
I would say, even though I wasn't at it, I'd say when they came back up, when we beat them 5-1.
Yeah, the Dembele hat-trick.
I just think the hype that day.
The Ian Crocker commentary just sticks in my head when he goes, "No Lee Griffiths, no worries," like that.
No problem.
Was just no problem. Honestly,
I know, no worries, no problem. Yeah,
honestly, that was mad. But I was at one of my best mates, and it was at Hampden. I think we won 2-0. And
Cal
McGregor scored. Cal McGregor scored.
Oh, the cup, was it?
Yeah, in the cup. And I just remember because we were at the top of the kind of like the tier in the main stand at Hampden, and Bertie Auld was there and like leaned over and kind of grabbed us, like me and my mate, and that was just so cool to share that moment of like a goal going in with a Lisbon line. That was nuts. We got a picture of him, and that was
different level there. The 2-1 game. When we played during the week, the Nakamura goal, and then Jan.
My dad was there that day and said it's the best kind of atmosphere he's ever been at Celtic. And well,
it was the comeback season. It's the title for Tommy as well. So, to be honest, my own favourite moment, obviously, remember the 6-2 game. Like, I literally was playing a football match that day, and we walked into the pub, and just as we walked into the pub, the ball was just hitting the back of the net from Larson's dink. But my own favourite personal moment, I was only ever at one Old Firm game, and it was the one Sutton lob cross in the last minute of the game. So that's
the 2003-4 season. That was a belt of a season.
I know it was the green and whitewash season as well. So it was in the Jockstein end.
Larson's last season as well.
Yeah, just see Sutton lob the ball.
It was
in. I couldn't believe it.
Well, someone said in the comments there that Rangers don't have ammunition in the midfield against us tomorrow. Now, do you think we should start Sexy Tam tomorrow against them with the form he's in?
Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I've spoke about to Tam Rogic is I think Tom on the ball was fantastic. I think when Ange has got him playing again, which is obviously what we wanted to see, and when that was one of the first things we did all think as Celtic fans. It was like, well, we don't really know about him, but hopefully he gets Tom playing again, and he has. I think Tom's one of the guys he'll do 4 or 5 good moves or good transitions on a ball, and then the 6th one or 7th one he'll try and do that bit too much. So I just don't want.
It was like the other night against Alkmaar. It just wasn't his game. Was not his game. I just
don't want him to give the ball away. Do you know what I mean? And it's like see in the Rodgers kind of era when he gave the ball away, like I would have been confident that our defence then would just cover and recover for him and then new transition of play and play it along the back, whatever. With this kind of defence and with Tam there, it can be a bit of a liability, but Tam's magic. Do you know what I mean? He can pull.
Look at the moment
He can pull a moment of madness from anywhere. So, yeah. But
shows the head of that Tenants. That head looks bleeding awful on that Tenants.
It is because it was a shandy, mate. It's just sweet shandies, mate. I'm keeping myself fresh.
Mix on the Kenny Miller, he is.
No, I'm not. As I was supposed to say, I'm not drinking Kenny Miller anyway. So.
Pour a bit of Siminovich in that, you'll be sorted.
I'm just having a few shandies because tomorrow's a big day, and you know what it's like. Old Firm, it's your breakfast.
Are we going to see a sending off tomorrow?
Oh, do you know what? I think so. I think we're going to see one from each side, actually. I was talking about that yesterday. I think so. I mean, it's one of the ones where both sides, I mean, Celtic need to win. We dropped points against Hearts. Rangers, of course, dropped points against Dundee United. It's the first of its kind in this kind of new era of under Ange and Steven Gerrard. I think Steven will tell the guys to go out tomorrow and say, get right in about them, because like we've got so many new players who've never experienced an Old Firm derby or Glasgow derby, whatever you want to call it. So I think it's going to be, like I said, you can never predict this derby. You can never predict it. But
do you know who I want to see step up to the plate tomorrow? Massively, David Turnbull. David Turnbull needs to step up to the plate tomorrow.
He's been magic though.
Test out. I think more likely McCrory's going to be in goal for them tomorrow. So test out McCrory.
It's not a case of him like stepping up.
The whole team.
It's just he just needs to kind of continue his form that he's on, like, and not just play the game that he's been playing so far all season and continue that form. There's no just take the occasion out of your head. Obviously, they're going to know about it tonight, who they're playing, what the game means, the whole lot. But just as soon as the first whistle goes there tomorrow, play the way you've been playing all season. It's just another game. Just play it like that.
That's it. Definitely. I know we've had loads of home games in a row, and then we played over Holland the other day, but it's going to be just weird watching it. You know, like, fair enough, the fans are back in. We were all moaning about the fans back in. It's just that, not even that corner having their fans there. We go back to that victory when Johnny Hayes and Edward scored that day, September 19. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
I think Turnbull's been great for us, and do you know why? It's like, a lot of people criticise McGregor for not shooting on sight, like especially when Brown was there, because when they two were together, it was like Brown played the ball along the back and whatever, and Cal never shot a lot. Now I think a guy like Davy Turnbull in with him, or like especially Tam as well, but with Davy, like, Cal drags the players out because of how quick he is and how he glides along the midfield, and he's been kind of, if you would say, not an assist, but an assist of an assist for David Turnbull's goals, because he's creating that space for David to, and he'll happily shoot from outside the area. Do you know what I mean? So, and
don't forget, he has a hat trick as well.
So yeah, he's David Turnbull's been great, but my plaudits will be Cal McGregor as well. I think he's stepped up to the captain's role superbly.
I think Cal McGregor is going to get Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Again, going back to that thing of talking about off the ball. Off the ball, he's great. He just glides side to side, and he controls the game, and he expects balls in. He always finds himself in that space. When, like, for instance, when we're struggling at the back against Alkmaar at home, he came in. I know he gave the pass away for the chance, but he gets himself into that kind of space to give the defenders another option of, like, right, cool, we'll give you that 1-2, but then I'm off and I'm finding more space, and he's always on his feet, he's always on his toes. So that's what I really like about him. I just like his work ethic, and as a captain, I think you need to lead by example. That's just my opinion, and he does.
I'm going to talk about Starfelt. He is right. A couple of podcasts I've been listening to said that.
I'll be 1 second. I need the toilet.
Mick Starfelt is not playing handball. He seems nervous with handball.
Yeah, like, come here. Thursday night was just like prime example about how Starfelt's season has gone so far. Like, the swipe at the ball, like, you put your head in that all day. If anything, like, you can come out and just put your skull on it and put it anywhere. But how he managed to do that, like, just how he was facing away from the goal and still managed to put it in the back of the net, it was mad thing that happened. Like, so, look, he's not settled. He's definitely not settled, and I don't think
he did redeem himself, though. I know it was an own goal, but he did redeem himself. That tackle was something else.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a good tackle, in fairness, right? But look, Amir, like, one thing, like, he can't make up for everything that has happened so far. He's been shaky. I think he needs to kind of like be dropped for a little bit. We need someone else in there. Now, this is going to be a mad thing to absolutely say, and I'll probably get absolutely shot for saying it.
I know what you're going to say.
I nearly put Beaton in ahead of him tomorrow.
No, Beaton's experience last season against them, definitely not. I would not.
Sorry, what was the point there?
I said
you were saying that
with Starfelt, I just think he's not settled yet, and I think tomorrow the occasion's going to get too much from him, and I'd nearly take the gamble of putting Beaton in after what we've seen so far.
Mate, I'd rather put my granddad in rather than Beaton.
Do you know what I'd rather do? Do you know what I'd actually rather do? This sounds a bit crazy. I'd rather actually play Ralston centre back and put Juranovic right back.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
Yeah.
But is Juranovic settled, ready to win to Celtic Park, or is not Celtic Park?
But that's only if Starfelt's injured. Starfelt's a centre half. If you get that guy who's come in new to the club, right, he's maybe not settled right, but you look at this if you were in the player's shoes or player's boots. You've been playing, you've been part of that squad, you've been part of that group. The biggest game of Celtic season so far, the manager shows no confidence in you and drops you. How do you recover from that for the rest of your season? To go back to
but the thing that we could go against this is if he starts tomorrow and he has an absolute howler of a game, I think a lot of Celtic fans will find it hard to forgive him.
Well,
and I know form is temporary.
If Rangers are missing players, right, and it's the first under Ange's reign or whatever, and we're all, you could use it. I wouldn't say the word experiment because you would never experiment in a game like this. But you can't include a guy in your squad and include him in your plans for so many games. Alkmaar, whatever. I know he had a mistake. Fair enough. He had a mistake against Hearts. Fair enough. But if I was a player and the guy signed me and said, "Listen, I want you part of my plans," and then dropped me for the biggest game of the season so far, I would say, "Well, hold on a minute. Does he really want me in his plans?" That creates a divide within a relationship between the manager and the player before the season's really even kicked off. We're only in the first 4 or 5 games, so I think dropping Starfelt's a bit of a big shout. I mean,
but I think 100% he's going to start regardless anyway.
He will start. It's just Joe Hart giving him the confidence and Welch winging it through as well. Like, I think Welch is going to... I just have a feeling Welch is going to be the man of the match tomorrow. I just having back in my mind that he's going to be the man of the match. I know that seems crazy, but what we need the most this season is scoring from set pieces. I know we're getting sexy goals with Kyogo and Abada and these boys like Turnbull and all, but we need to work on set pieces. Like I know Julian's still out, but the days of Celtic getting up, sexy Bobo Balde getting McManus.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's it. Even Danny Mostorovic used to do it. Julian.
Would Chad do the get him back in?
Look at El Gadora even got a goal against them at Ibrox.
I bring Reggie back before I bring back Dewey.
Yeah. But, nah, like I said, I think maybe speaking from I was a centre half and I played, so maybe speaking from that, it's like you do make mistakes as a centre half, and it's like as a centre back, right? You get so much pressure put on you, but you don't get much praise. Do you know what I mean? Like if you always praise your full backs, you praise your midfield, you don't really see centre backs getting much praise. You could have a flawless game, you could win every dribble. Do you know what I mean? You don't see them.
But you know what I loved the other night? See when Welch got done the clearance the other night for the AZ game when he stopped them scoring when they actually hit a rosette in the home tie. The celebrations after, that's similar to what Chris Dyer was doing against Rangers. Them couple of tackles, them clearances. That's what you want to see from your centre halves. That's what maybe Starfield's missing. He's missing that crucial tackle, that crucial goal line clearance, to get his career going at Celtic.
He is in there with a couple of mistakes a game. Like tomorrow, there's no room for any mistakes. So
but every player has mistakes. I know tomorrow he can't make mistakes, but he needs a big performance tomorrow because the jury will be out, and that sounds terrible after 5 or 6 games that we're saying this and that about this player. It's just it's the rebuilding season.
Watch him score an absolute screamer tomorrow. An absolute bullet just in the edge of the box.
You said that on Monday night, Keith, to get Starfelt going. He's just missing the goal there, and then that'll settle him. Like if you said it on Monday night, that could actually, you never know, that could actually happen from a set piece tomorrow. You said set piece.
What's the odds on scoring? It's probably about 50-1 or something.
I'll tell you right. Do you know David Turnbull to score from outside the area was 33-1, which I thought was a fantastic shout.
23-1. I wouldn't mind doing that, folks.
From outside the area.
Right, are we going for Edouard tomorrow or are we going for Kyogo?
Yeah, let's go
the
for
main
Kyogo.
man up front.
Kyogo has to be, especially everything, which we'll not speak about because whatever, but that kind of extra kind of fight he's going to have after the incidents of last week and stuff, he's going to be going there and going, right, this is my time to shine, and do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Right, let me have a look. We will get some odds up.
James Forrest is out in the comments.
As I said the other night, though, about Kyogo, he's going to be hunted, and they are going to try and hurt him tomorrow. No doubt about it. There'll be a few little niggly kicks here, there, and then. So
that's what Ange was saying in the press conference yesterday. He said, "Look, at every team is starting to realise what Kyogo's skills are, his specialities, and they're going to try break him down."
Right. So Rangers to win are 64. The draw is 12-5, and Celtic to win 70-10. But player-wise, let's have a look. So player. Who did you say? Goal scorer, Starfelt. Starfelt to score first is 40-1. Score last is 40-1. And score anytime is 16-1.
There you go, folks.
What for cheeky fiver trips? And if you win, 10% of your winnings come back to us at the podcast.
What about sexy Tam Rogic?
Mr. Tam is 12-1, first and last, 5-1 anytime.
Yeah, sounds about right. He loves a goal.
David Turnbull anytime is 3-1. Now I think that's a good bet. Like if you are betting, please gamble responsibly, all that stuff. But Kyogo first. I don't know. Kyogo first goal scorer's 92, and so is Morelos and Kemar Roof. So they're the top three kind of joint. And the running. Greg Taylor's 100-1.
Well, they have Longstrom back, don't they? And Roof back tomorrow as well, they do.
Yeah.
But look, it's not about them. Look, Gary McAllister was coming up with excuses on the press conference and all, saying he had COVID issues, players come back from the Euro.
Look, sorry, this has to be addressed. This has to be addressed with the COVID thing, right? Yes, they're missing a few players, but they have depth. All right, they have players that can go in there. And as I always say about this fixture, if you can't get up for this fixture, you shouldn't be on one of those jerseys. Yeah. You shouldn't be wearing either one of those.
If you don't understand.
Yeah, so I don't care who's in that pitch tomorrow. Both of them are going to be up for this game. Like now, I said that last year, the first game of the season with us, and we got bet 2-0. But again, like that was rectified straight away. I think, and we got up for most of the games. Obviously, the results didn't go our way, but this is going to be a very, very, very fiery encounter tomorrow.
I feel like we're going back to 2 years ago with like the Bonangoli with this whole Starfelt situation. People were saying Bonangoli shouldn't be starting, shouldn't be shaky. Bonangoli is one of probably our best players that day, Eloy Brooks.
Yeah, like I think. Do you know one thing is right? I think we're giving Starfelt a bit too much criticism. Like I said,
100%.
Stats here, right? He's the second highest pass completion percentage in our squad.
He's a Swedish international as well.
Near Beaton has got the highest. However, he's only played one game. So going on games and appearances, right? Starfelt has got 94.6% pass completion. So that's something you need to praise for him. Like I said, we look at him for the mistakes he makes, and it's because he's the last line of defence, and we criticise him. However,
would it be fair to say? Would it be fair to say that just because he's made a few mistakes, that he's the easy target at the moment because everyone else is playing so well?
Yeah, I think so. It's like there's 10 Ferraris in a showroom. If one of them's got a flat tyre, you're going to pick on that one. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. So I think we just need to give him time. I think there's been no complaints about Celtic season so far, apart from obviously the shaky start at Hearts. Fair enough, but 13 goals in 3 games. That reminds you of Rodgers. That reminds me of the Rodgers.
That's what I was saying to Aaron. I'm going in with that optimism.
Going in absolutely battering teams. I mean, like, absolutely battering them. Like, battered St Mirren. I mean, that game was just crazy to be at and watch. Like, they never got near. I know they went down to 10 men, but that was a silly challenge. You should never have went in for a tackle. That's his own fucking fault. But
what do you think of Celtic's business with this Liam Scales? I know Liam was obviously playing the other night for Rovers in the conference playoff. But they done it at the last minute. He looks like a good signing. 23 years of age, over 6 foot, 40 games for Rovers, a handful of goals in there as well. He can play centre back, left back, defensive mid. We have a player in there, but I think people are very underestimating League of Ireland. Mick, what do you think? Liam Scales, would you throw him in the mix tomorrow?
Look, it is a possibility. Like, obviously, if Taylor is still not 100%, obviously we're going to have to make a decision there. But I wouldn't be putting Scales in tomorrow. I'd be more inclined to put Montgomery in because how well he played the other night. He was put in under the cosh, and it shows that he can deal with pressure. So I'd probably go for Montgomery over Scales tomorrow. Like, Scales hasn't had time to. He probably just arrived today, said hello to everybody, kicked 1 or 2 balls. That's about it. But I'd put Montgomery in there ahead of Scales if Taylor's not fit.
What do you think, Jody?
If Taylor's not fit, you have to play Montgomery. I don't think Scales is settled in yet. It's like it would be a bounce game. Do you know what I mean?
Kind of like what happened with Laxall against Rangers last season.
Yeah, it would be a kind of bounce game. You couldn't really expect someone to jump in. Of course, being Irish and maybe having known what Celtic's about and stuff, fair enough. But like you said, he plays full back, he can play defensive mid. So it's good for Celtic to have a player who can cover, because Callum McGregor was that guy like 3-4 years ago. Remember when he was playing left back or playing left mid or playing anywhere he could under Rodgers, and he was that man to just kind of cover for everybody. And he's done a great job. But now, as captain, he's the main man, and he's been one of the best players we've had this season so far in the midfield. So, what
do you think that's going on with the whole Georgios Giamakis? Do you think it's a case that I know Celtic have got the paperwork and done this stuff? Is it a case that they're waiting on international clearance and they're hoping Edward goes?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mick? He'll be back in a second.
I think he's gone. Well, I'll add on that. It's one of the ones. I don't think Celtic are willing to wait on one pair. I don't think Celtic are willing to wait on signing someone at $2.5 million for someone to leave at 18 million. So, I think it's more. I think Ange has sussed Griffiths out, which I'm sure that's a great talking point. We could be here for an hour and a half talking about Griffiths. But
look, I defended Griffiths at the start of the season when he got the contract, but the more I don't see his name, even on the team sheet, it's frustration.
Storming down the tunnel the other night, you can tell he's not interested. I mean, the guy's had chance after chance after chance. Now, personally, I don't know what anybody else's opinion is. Personally, I will never slander anybody for their personal problems like gambling, drugs, alcohol, whatever that is. That I will never slander anybody for that. But when you're at a club and you have a contract to do your job and to the best of your ability, like Celtic gave him a chance, they gave him a chance again, they gave him a chance again. It's like, how many chances do you give someone? No one is bigger than Celtic Football Club. Not one man is bigger than Celtic Football Club. Not one man is bigger than any club that they play for. So, for me, I think his time's up. I think it's more of, as yet he's okay, he'll come in, might. But it's more having that, if we've got that backup that...
The thing about Griffiths is, I don't think there's teams that are interested in taking him on, though. There hasn't been any approaches.
You wouldn't employ someone who turned up late or was on sick for so long. Like, it's like any job. If you handed your CV in and said, "Oh, I only get a 50% attendance rate," no one's going to. And it sounds quite blunt, but you're never going to employ someone who you think could be a burden to your business. So, and if I must admit, the last 6 months to a year, Lee Griffiths has been a burden on Celtic.
Mick, what do you think?
Thank you.
I know we couldn't have
Thanks very much for saying that. Thanks. Yeah, we had this chat on Monday night. I was saying Ange gave Griffiths his last chance at the start of the season, and he was still training on his own. So I think he's a problem in the camp, especially if he's training on his own. So I think thanks very much for your service, Lee, whatever. But I think it's time to cut the cord.
The part ways. I agree with you. I think it's time that Lee moves on as well.
I mean,
he's given us some great moments.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to. He's given us some great moments, like the Bereshiva goals and whatever he's done, and even for Scotland, like scoring great free kick. He has
against Joe Hart.
Yeah, a double too.
Twice,
a double. He's a funny story about that. I actually, when that first goal went in, I jumped up and like we were on little stools in the bar, and my mate fell back, hurt his head off the pool table, knocked out, and when he woke up, the second one was going in. like when he was unconscious and he woke up and still thought we're celebrating the first one, knocked out cold in a pub. But that's a story for another day. But
right, we're going to get on to the front. Starting lineup. Mick, we'll go for you first of all. I know we talked about it the other night, but I'm sure things have changed around. Before I get your starting lineup, what I can say about for everyone that's watching the 130 is I really appreciate it on the platforms Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. If you haven't subscribed to my channel on YouTube, go ahead, and to Juddy in the middle, Juddy Talks, give him a taparoo as well. Taparoo like a kangaroo. But Mick, watch your starting lineup for tomorrow. Throw it at me.
Right, obviously, look, I've said a few things there, obviously, about players, obviously, but I'm going to go with the one that I think is most likely going to start, okay? It's not my own opinion. I'm going to go with the one that I think Ange is going to trust. Obviously, Barkas and goals. I'm sorry, Hart and goals. That's the reaction I was looking for there, anyway.
Barkas is going to be cleaning the toilets at Ibrox tomorrow, for God's sake. Getting rid of all them sewage.
So, Hart and goals, for sure, right? Right back, obviously, I want to stick with Ralston. Welsh and Starfelt, centre backs. Left back, if Taylor's fit for the match, obviously definitely put him in. If not, Montgomery, okay? Midfield, I'll stick with Turnbull, McGregor, and Rogic. Out on the right, obviously James, he's out, so Abada goes in there for me. I'm Christie on the left and Kyogo up front.
Right. Someone asked me about, is this Owen Brew or cider? It's Owen Brew Extra. It tastes like absolute pish. Just to let you know. I'm not on it tonight. I'm on it tomorrow morning. Jody, go on.
Don't worry about it. Right. Joe Hart, Ralston, Starfelt, Welsh, Taylor, Turnbull, Rogic, McGregor. Now, I'm a wee bit weary because I think Kyogo could do a job on that left wing tomorrow. I know he plays up top, right? But if they've not got Tavernier, they've got someone who's inexperienced at right back. So for me, I would go Abada, Edward in the middle, Kyogo on the left. And it's just because when I've been to Celtic and I've watched Celtic this season, he's always on the shoulder. Now, if they put in a young, inexperienced right back in there or whoever they put in, most players in Europe this season or the European competition we're playing in, I'll not disrespect anybody in the Champions League, but they will struggle to deal with Kyogo's pace, struggle to deal with his movement off the ball, struggle to deal with him moving into the space, like across the line or in behind the line. So for me, I would go the same, but I would go Abada, Eddie, Kyogo.
Interesting.
Right, my starting lineup, I would go. I know this sounds a bit crazy. Go obviously with Joe Hart, not Barkas. Definitely not Barkas. Right back would have to be Ralston. Ralston's been absolutely brilliant. You know, you can't fault Anthony Ralston. If you asked me 6 weeks ago, I would have laughed and said, not a chance. Not a chance.
Well, I put a picture up when I was in Celtic Park and said he was a donkey. But it never uploaded because you don't get signal, right? And he had the best 90 minutes to shot against that one I've ever seen. I was like, oh. No,
left back has to be little mono. I know it's a big occasion for him, but you know what? I think he can bring something different to the play. I just think Taylor would be afraid to take them on.
Yeah.
Especially the occasion, innit? I just think Taylor's been decent, but I think Montgomery, I know if he has a bad game, people are going to slander him, but I think he done well the other night to put him in there. Carl Starfelt has to play because I want him to prove us all wrong. I want to prove he has to play, and I think this is the occasion for him. You know, it's like remember old Tom Ronye? He got slandered for ages, and then played well against him, scored a couple of goals against him. You know, so Starfelt plays, Welchie plays. You know, Welchie has to play against him. You know, you've seen what happened when he got subbed off last season, and he was raging. That's the type of player we need in there. Welchie plays. Callum plays, obviously, the captain. You know, I would go with Turnbull. I would actually drop Tom Rogic, bring Christie in the middle.
Ooh.
On the left, I'll go Kyogo. I'll go with Odson Edward up front, and I'll go with Bada on the right. I think it's point that Edward, if he's going to leave, it's his final dance. Fuck it, put him in there against him. Let him get a goal. If it doesn't work out, take him off, put Tom on, Kyogo in the middle, Christie on the left. There you go.
He'll make an appearance either way, even if he starts on the bench, though.
We don't have enough ammunition on the bench. Like someone's saying, Sorrow there for fresh legs. I think Sorrow gives away too much fouls.
Yeah, he gets kind of early bookings as well, doesn't he? So, aye. What about Bollinoli? Would you not play him over if Taylor's not fit? Would you?
Look, he had a chance the other night to come on, and he went for Montgomery.
Eddie needs to start. I think what we're all saying is Edward needs to start tomorrow.
I think Eddie needs to start.
He needs
to be honest.
He knows the fixture. That goal.
I think if you said to me 4 weeks ago, Edward starts against this, no, because he's lost the hunger. Because what Mick touched on Monday, he's kind of more of he feels a bit happier. And you seen him the other night, he's more hungrier, chasing the ball down. And that's what we need with him. I think with the style of football, if you change with Ange, not like the Lennon football, I think you'll get more ball.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think you need to stay off the cans as well. You're falling asleep there.
Listen, I was for Easter Road today, so I've been up since about 7 a.m. doing prep and stuff, and then obviously I had to get the train through Edinburgh and then get the train back after the game, then edit and then get it uploaded. So it's been a long day. And
then you get a message off me to come on this last minute. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, listen, no worry. And then after this, I'll be going back live on Twitch to do like my stuff. So hi. No rest for the wicked, as you say.
Have you on the blue wicked soon as well, are you?
It's a case of blue wicked or Red Bull I'm needing to keep me awake. So.
Go on the Venoms, eh? On the Venoms. Mick, how many bottles do you have all set for tomorrow?
Look, I won't be watching from home. As you know, I have to do music after the game tomorrow, so. Some McHugh's and Drogheda tomorrow. So obviously COVID restrictions apply and everything. So if anybody's around the Drogheda area, look for a few tunes after, hopefully for a bit of a celebration, tunes on there. So let's go and practice a few tunes now. Just get the cobwebs wiped away. Make sure. What song
you dying to play the most tomorrow? Beautiful Sunday.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. It's a mate of mine, Mr. Damien Quinn, has allowed me to play Rebel Sunday, so I'll play Rebel Sunday.
Right, the big motherfucking question everyone wants to know. Goody, what score are we going for? Have you changed your mind over the last hour?
No, I've not changed my mind, and I said this in confidence, and I said it in the vlog the other day. I'm going Celtic 4-0 tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, Celtic 4-0 tomorrow. I mean,
that tenant has definitely got to you.
It's not, and I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why, for instance. Celtic have scored 13 goals in the last 3 games. Rangers are missing their most influential player in James Tavernier, who controls that back line. Rangers struggle.
Not confirmed yet, Jody. Just let you know, that's not confirmed yet.
Yeah, well, it's not confirmed, right? If Tavernier's not playing Celtic 4-0, if he is playing Celtic 3-1. I think tomorrow... Starfelt comes into a great game. We clear up the mistakes at the back. If Ange's team talk tomorrow, it's not about don't concede. The defence do their job. The midfield handles itself at Celtic, and then it's about infiltrating their defence. And I'm going 4-0. That's just my prediction. I know it's bold, and I'm one of the most neutral guys you'll meet when it comes to being bigoted or whatever, but that's just my opinion. I think 4-0 Celtic tomorrow.
Mick, what are you going to say?
Very. I might as well if we're going in that kind of style. No, look, to be honest, I have it in my head kind of all last week that was going to be a draw match. Obviously, players are going to come back in. I still have a feeling it could be a draw match tomorrow. I don't think it'd be a bad result either. I hope I'm wrong.
Do you think a draw?
I really obviously do hope we get the win. But I think a draw match could be on the cards. But I hope I'm wrong.
Matt, do you think a draw is a good enough result for Celtic, the way they're playing and how Rangers have been playing? Do you think it's a good
absolutely enough? Not. Like we're the informed team, Jody. But the thing is, like in Derby Day, all form goes out the window.
Yeah. True. Good point. You know, Ange. The thing what Ange needs to do is say, look, don't change your style of football. You go out there and play the way you've been playing, regardless who the opposition is, regardless this shit pit we're playing in. Go out there and play. Don't drop a level for them.
Absolutely.
Play the best we can.
Yeah. Listen, someone has to put that bold prediction out there. I'm happy it's me. I've put my neck in the line. I'm going 4-0. It'll be a clip tomorrow or a meme if we get beat, but I'm no caring. I'm going 4-0.
Right. I'll go for 2 predictions. I'm going to go for 2-1. And I think I think Starfelt's going to score tomorrow, and I think it's going to be Sexy Turnbull with a goal outside the box. I think there's going to be a sending off.
I actually, if I had to put money on that, Keith, I would have won a fortune there, because if you look back at every podcast for the last 2 years that you've done, you 70 or 80% you say 2-1 Celtic in everything.
Haven't I predict the player now? What fucking happens?
Well, listen, if it's 4-0 tomorrow, I'll take my apology in writing from anybody who's doubted me.
It's 4-0 tomorrow. You're going up to Celtic Park in your Borat Mankini and doing beautiful
send them over a case of tenants.
Some wine brew extra.
4-0. But I just think Celtic are playing some great football, scoring great goals, and if they players are missing, huge influence in Rangers team. Huge. Massive. Now, fans there or not, like massive.
I want to clear this up. Is the ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend affair keeps coming up every fucking summer now. He's on a free. Do we go for him? Paddy Roberts.
No.
It's one of the ones. As you know, we spoke earlier. I know Patrick and I know his brother well, and he's always spoke highly of Celtic on the podcast. If you've not seen that, you can check it out on Juddy Talks.
He's sitting here smoking a cigar, laughing at us now.
So highly about his time at Celtic, but I think it's whether does he fit into the team now. He was He was good when he played with us. He was one of the players who got you off your seat at Celtic Park when he got the ball, because he was great. But does he fit into Celtic's plans now? Does he?
No.
Definitely not. I wouldn't take him back. I think that ship is sailed 2 seasons ago. I just think why should we be a back last minute resort?
And I will admit something. It's not that he didn't want to come back. That was never what was said. He was asked.
It was City demanded too much,
and then obviously they had with the thing with Girona and the feeder club and stuff. So obviously had his bad injury, and he was out for a while, which was unfortunate. But you never know with Celtic. I mean, you just never know. I mean, look at Ronaldo. He's been back to Man U 12. I know it's different.
PR7 to see.
I know there's a big difference, but it's like you never know what can happen in football. I mean, if you told me 5 years ago Joe Hart would be playing for Celtic, I would have said, I mean, don't talk a lot of shit.
Yeah,
if you said to you 10 years ago, we're going to do a car treble and win 9 in a row, you would have laughed at me.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So you never know, but Paddy's a good guy, good footballer, gets plenty of ability. Hopefully his future works out for him, but whether that's at Celtic or whether that's at another club, we're yet to find out. But yeah.
Right, Mick, you want to finish on anything?
What's that?
Do you want to finish on anything for tomorrow?
Just enjoy the game, guys, and hope we get a good result. That's all we can really say at this moment. Like, I'm not going to go and make mad predictions, because I've tried to last year. It was all over the place, and I'm just going to not make 1,000,001 predictions like I did before. I'm just going to take it as it comes tomorrow. Like, so, give me team, give me thoughts, and hopefully just some of them come true, to be honest. But look, it's going to be a tough game. They're going to be gunning for, especially the new players that are performing. Abada, Kyogo. They're going to try and take them out. It's going to be a hostile atmosphere, no doubt about it. But
I just want to say 2 things to Celtic fans when you're finished, Mick. Forget about the referee.
Go on ahead. No.
Clancy, forget about the referee, and forget about their COVID cases. So whatever they put out tomorrow, forget about it. At the end of the day, it's what we put out. It's the way we get on with the football. I'm sick of people saying, "Oh, that ref's going to cost us this." At the end of the day, 90% of the refs in Scotland are corrupt as fuck anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
We've been dealing with it for a long time, so we have. So like another game's not going to make a difference. So
that's it. At the end of the day, I'm sick of people saying ref. They're missing that. They're missing this. We just put out what we can and take the game to them. At the end of the day, think about if we score in the first 20 minutes, their fans are going to be on them like a hot snot, and then they'll panic. Won't they, Judy?
Only wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's Rangers fans can get quite hostile towards their players when they're not performing. So can Celtic as well, but I think it's slightly different. I think from what we've experienced and it's been in the news and stuff, is like when Rangers are down, the players get a bit anxious, and it's been like that for what the past couple of seasons here and there. But yeah, I just think tomorrow, if you're going to the game, or you're watching the game, sorry, or going to the pub, stay safe, enjoy the game. First one of the season. Don't take it to heart. I think it's Ange's first game as well under this kind of era.
Better not be wearing them slacks tomorrow.
So, just the Mankini, mate. That's me. Mankini and my ankle socks, mate. That'd be me.
No, I'm saying Ange wears these navy slacks all the time. I want them to not wear them tomorrow.
Mate,
if they work, they work.
He's the best dressed guy in the league, isn't he? He's just that. Honestly, he's a fine wine. That's what he is. I think tomorrow, like I said, you're going to the game. Enjoy it. Stay safe. Enjoy being back out with your friends at a pub and enjoying Old Firm. First time in 18 months. Don't take too much to heart. Don't put too much pressure on Starfield. I think it'll be a good game. Like I said, you can never predict the Glasgow Derby or the Old Firm or New Firm, whatever you want to call it. But my prediction,
no one's fancy a Kyogo goal.
No, I fancy Kyogo to score as many as he wants tomorrow. I've said 4-0, so he can score all 4 if he likes. So I'm not too sure. It's just you just don't know who's going to play. I mean, it's very unpredictable tomorrow. Like usually when you go to an Old Firm, you know who's going to kind of be in there and there's a base. Whereas we've got a couple of knocks. Rangers have got the COVID stuff, so it is very unpredictable. It's a very weird fixture. This one, very weird. So,
Mick, what do you think
about the tomorrow? Kyogo. Look, I said I'm not making predictions for anyone. Anybody can score in this fixture. It's not something you can predict. Like in other games, you can kind of give a little prediction, and usually they do come through. But in Derby Day, like I say, all forms at the window. Anything can happen. Absolutely, anything can happen.
We're ready for war. That's the main thing. I think I'm gonna wear that jersey tomorrow. To be honest with you, even though it's meant to be cracking weather, me sitting in the pub with that jersey, I'm like, oh. But I just want to say massive thank you to Judy coming on and Mick coming on. It's 11:15, folks. So get your music on, get your book fast, your Mad Dog, your Ryan Brew, or your cup of tea, and don't forget to subscribe to Judy's channel, Judy Talks, and most of all, my own channel. We're going to 7K. If you're new to the stream, appreciate it. A massive thanks to me Facebook followers, my Twitter followers, my YouTube subscribers. They're all bleeding legends, you know. But look, just stay safe. Don't act stupid tomorrow. Just drink responsible if you're drinking, and enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Hail, guys.
Hail.
Good night.
Thanks for having me on, mate.